Hi. 3 nutrition rules for a healthier physique. The first rule is make sure you feel satiated so that you don't eat excessively to compensate for your hunger. When you eat food, a lot of processed, ultra-processed food will have sugar and processed oils to try and keep you eating it more and more. It wants you to eat it. And what these ultra-processed foods are made out of, they're made out of fats and carbohydrates. And so there's no protein in there. Protein is very, very satiating. It's the most satiating macronutrient there is. There's 3 macronutrients, so it's carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. The main 2 that make you feel most satiated are fats and proteins, but protein does the best job at making you feel full. When I say satiated, I mean full. You feel full, so feel like you can't eat anymore. You can't eat any more food because you feel full. And so if you're eating Pringles or crisps or what do you call it, chips, or if you're eating processed, ultra-processed foods, then it doesn't have much. They don't have much protein in, and that keeps you eating more and more and more because that's what makes the businesses money. And so the number one rule that you need to keep in mind is make sure to eat foods, more whole foods that have protein in, so that you feel more satiated, you feel fuller. You eat more foods with fat and protein in, less carbohydrates, more protein, more fat, you feel more full, and therefore you won't eat as much. The result of that, you will have a more lean physique because you'll be consuming and eating less calories. So your physique will be more lean, your body will be more healthy, and you'll look better and you'll look more attractive. Number 2, your second rule is eat less processed sugar because it decreases your testosterone. There was a study done on men, when they ate pure glucose, so the really refined, processed type of sugar, glucose, not fructose, glucose. Fructose is the sugar you find in fruits and vegetables, but the really refined and processed sugar, glucose, when there was a study when men ate that, I think it was done by, what's his name? Something Hall, or was that the mouse study? No, that was Alex Hall? I don't know. But you can look it up if you like. Look up glucose sugar effect on testosterone. What this study said is when men had testosterone and when men had sugar, when men ate and consumed pure glucose, their testosterone levels decreased, which in turn will make your physique worse. If you're a man or a woman, if you don't have testosterone, which promotes muscle growth and growth hormone, and it promotes basically a lot of functions, it makes effort feel good. It does a lot of functions in your body. If you don't have testosterone, if you have bad levels of testosterone, it's going to affect your metabolism, it's going to affect your physique, and you're not going to look as attractive. So that's a rule. Make sure to eat less processed sugar, less glucose. You can eat more fructose. Normally in a table sugar, that's not pure glucose. Table sugar like sugar cubes, that's usually 50% glucose and 50% fructose. So you want to eat less glucose, less processed sugar, and more natural sugars found in fruits and vegetables. That is my second rule for making you have a healthier physique. My number 3 rule for having a healthier physique is rather than taking supplements for vitamins and micronutrients, you should eat the food that contains them. You should eat the whole food, like blueberries or oranges for certain nutrients, micronutrients, or liver for vitamin K. There's lots of vitamin K in liver, which is a micronutrient. Most people nowadays are in a what's the opposite of a surplus? They're in a deficit. They're in a nutrient deficit. They're not eating all the essential nutrients that they should be eating. And you can find vitamin K in like red meat and especially liver. There's a lot of vitamin K in like cow liver. And And the reason I'm telling you to do this rather than taking supplements is because there's a synergetic effect that occurs through eating whole foods. So if you eat blueberries, you're going to gain the benefits of the vitamins, whilst also some vitamins are fat soluble, which means that they digest better when they've been eaten with the certain type of fat, the certain type of polyunsaturated fat, or the saturated fat. So basically, whole foods have done the guesswork for you, right? So if you want to get good amounts of vitamins, then just eat fruit. Don't eat supplements. Maybe you might want to supplement some things like magnesium occasionally, but for the most part, if you want to be as healthy as possible and you want to have as attractive and healthy physique as possible, you're going to want to eat plenty of whole foods because then the vitamins in the whole foods will digest better. And those are my 3 rules. I haven't recorded a video in a while, so maybe my apologies if this was a slow pace or a bit incoherent. I'll try to be more compendious next time. But yeah, if you enjoy listening to blunt authenticity, then you should subscribe.